We just returned from Machu Picchu in Peru, where my wife and I took a group of 75 people. And we spent 5 days in Machu Picchu, we spent 10 days in Peru and 5 of them up in Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is this place that was not discovered by the West until 1911. It was built thousands of years ago. When the Spanish came through South America and did to the natives of South America what we did to the Native Americans in North America, just decimated their whole populations. Our Holocaust, their Holocaust. They never found Machu Picchu. They never came there. It was discovered by accident up on this mountain peak in Peru. And somehow they had built a whole city, a whole sacred place, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago, with boulders that all weighed over 50 tons. How they could possibly have ever gotten them up the mountains 2,000 or 3,000 years ago is a mystery to everybody alive today. Still can't even fathom it. We can only get there now through airplanes and special trains and buses and so on. And these were peasants somehow building a whole city, a sacred place. And when I tell you that walking around in Machu Picchu for those 2 or 3, 4 days of just being there when I wasn't obliged to do other things, I had the greatest sense of well-being that I've ever known in my life. And as you begin to understand what begins to take place as you reach these faster vibrational frequencies, if you will, that things that we thought were outside of our capacity to even be able to understand, let alone experience and perform on a regular basis, you begin to know that you can indeed manage the coincidences of your life. That you have the ability to say to yourself and live it and do it with truth. And let me ask this question of this audience here, and only raise your hand if it's truth. How many of you do not do accidents? I just don't have accidents. And I intend not to have accidents. I have no accidents. I don't do accidents. Let me see. Maybe 15% of the audience. There's an awareness that accidents are things that happen at 20,000 cycles per second. And when I say to audiences, I don't have accidents, I just don't do them. I have in the past, but I don't go there any longer. They say, well, what if somebody's coming right at you, going the wrong way on the freeway, or blindsiding you, or whatever? I say, I would perceive that in advance. I would know that. And I would move to make sure that that didn't happen. And if I did indeed have or experience something called an accident, then I would remind myself that I had slipped out of this higher vibrational pattern, this higher level of consciousness, and allowed myself to drift back into ordinary human awareness. And when you do, you are susceptible. You are susceptible to accidents. You are susceptible to arthritis. You are susceptible to disease processes. You are susceptible to disharmony. You are susceptible to all of the dis-ease, disharmony, discord that are in your life.